So meanwhile, we'll have a quick recap of what we understood about the picture yesterday, the ladder, which explains the rise and downfall of Bharat. Yeah. So yesterday we understood that how all the deity souls in that golden period slowly coming down the ladder. The powers reduce, the number of births increase, and births also. We understood that in the golden period there are maximum 8 births for a particular soul, and then in the silver period there are 12 births. In the copper period there are 21 births, and in the iron age there are 42 births. And then there is one birth of the confluence age. So the sum total, which we can say the maximum births taken by a soul in this cycle of 5,000 years is 84 births only, as explained by God Shiva himself through the human medium of Brahma. Okay, so and the minimum birth is one birth. So how the rise and downfall of Bharat happens, and then towards the end, there is the destruction shown in the ladder. That how the destruction happens through the natural calamities, through civil wars, and lot of violence through uh, many other nuclear weapons, right? So after the destructions, we understood that all souls go back to Mukti Dham, or the sweet silent home called Param Dham, rest for a while, and then slowly, not all at once, but souls at their own respective time come onto this earth to play their roles as actors. And that's how the continuity or the cyclic pattern of this human cycle goes on. So today, moving forward, we will understand about the human tree. Hmm. Just like in the path of bhakti, you might have heard about Kalpa Vriksha. There is a saying that the one who sits beneath Kalpa Vriksha, the one who sits beneath Kalpa Vriksha is all the wishes are fulfilled. Such is the power of this tree called Kalpavriksha. But truly speaking, it is not a physical tree, it is the understanding of the human tree which gives us the power to fulfill all our wishes, or which helps us to gain certain attainments in life, right? So let's understand how this human tree, uh, what is the seed of the tree, how this tree slowly, like a sapling, emerges and then grows into a bigger tree, and how it takes its shape, and what is the duration of this tree, how it perishes, and how the continuity of this human tree happens. For which I want sister to turn on the PowerPoint for me. Yeah. So like you can see on the screen, the kalpa tree, which is the duration of this kalpa tree or the human tree, is 5,000 years, as it is mentioned on the screen. And then slowly, the seed of this human tree, which is God Himself, who acts like the seed, just like the seed holds the knowledge of the entire tree. So God, the Supreme Soul, holds the knowledge of this entire human tree. So this analogy of the tree is explained by himself, because seeds know the entire tree, what emerges out of that. Likewise, the seed also, as revealed by the Supreme Soul, the seed of the tree, we will understand how this tree goes forward. So God, like shown in the picture, is the seed, the point form, just like any other seed, which is very small in size, but the tree coming out of this seed is quite huge when compared to the size of the tree. Likewise, in, on that physical level, that happens, small seed, big tree. Likewise, on a spiritual level also, the seed of we human souls is God himself. And then the tree which comes out of the seed is also quite huge. The seed is invisible, point of light. And then in the roots there is God, and there is a bunch of people shown around him. The ones who are meditating, who are experiencing a connection with God now in Sangam Yuga are shown in the roots, which means a new sapling of the tree is yet to begin. The one who associate themselves with God are the ones who come into this new tree of or the new sapling which is being created by God himself. And the first portion in the stem as shown in the image is Satyug, which is 1250 years, where the souls are elevated. Sato Pradhan means they are elevated and full of all divine powers and virtues. And the one religion which existed during this period is Adi Sanatan Devi Devta Dharam, or the original dharam, original religion for the entire world or the entire mankind can be called as Adi Sanatan Devi Devta Dharam. Adi means from the beginning, Sanatan means the original, and deity religion, Devi Devta Dharam. So in the beginning there was only one religion. And slowly as the tree started growing further, next image in the stem is shown of Treta Yuga, where it is the age of Ram Sita, whereas golden period was shown as the age of Radha Krishna or Lakshmi Narayan. So why Treta Yuga has been shown as the age of Ram Sita? There is always a bow and an arrow shown in the hands of Lord Rama. So which means during this period, the energy within the soul depletes to a small extent. Like we understood yesterday or in the human cycle, that from 100% pure and full of energy in the beginning, which is golden age, coming to the silver age or Treta Yuga, it becomes 75%, which means 25% of the energy is lost by the time the soul reaches this age. So when the energy depletes, there is a small conflict which happens within the soul, which is symbolically shown as bow and arrow, symbolically. Now, if there is some conflict going on within me, how will I show the world that, or how will the world understand on a physical level? So, symbolically, a bow and arrow has been shown, whereas the deity souls, Rama, Lord Rama and Sita, were non-violent. They never used bows and arrows, both in the golden age or in the silver age. It was an age of absolute non-violence, and there was no conflict at all in the golden period, neither inwards conflict nor the external conflict. Whereas coming to the silver period, a small percentage of internal conflict has been depicted or shown in the form of bow and arrow. But this is the age of Rama and Sita. I'll come to it towards the end, and I'll answer the question asked about why Ram and Sita are shown. Lord Rama and Sita has been shown in the silver age. So as the tree grows further after the golden period, where there is one religion, one language, the stem moves forward and the same oneness continues. Even in the Treta Yuga, there is Adi Sanatan, Devi Devta Dharam, which is only one religion. So there's no conflict at all. There is no second religion and there is no duality, so that which gives room to any kind of conflict. That is why there is peace, harmony, and everything of that sort existed. As the tree moves further, the third age, which is Dwapar Yuga. From here, uh, from golden and silver age, there is only one religion. So 1250 years of the golden age and 1250 years of the silver age, which is 2500 years if you sum total it. So up till 2500 years, there was only one religion in the entire world. That was the deity religion. So after 2500 years, the first branch in this human tree emerges, and that is the branch of uh, Islamism. So Ibrahim, the founder of the Islam religion, comes onto this earth from the soul world, establishes the religion of Islamism. So here, because of body consciousness in this period, because of the vices which has entered mankind, or they have become part of the soul, there is a need for a religion, or there is a need for some religious laws to support mankind so that it can sustain people properly with some man-made laws. Whereas up till 2500 years in the golden and silver age, there were no man-made laws. There was the not natural law of nature going on. Everybody was following the natural laws. There were no humans who created any laws and gave people and then ordered them to follow those laws. Uh, Nothing of that sort happened. Whereas here, coming to the Copper Age, Dwapar Yuga, the religion started emerging. There was the second religion, which was Ibrahim, created by Ibrahim, called Islamism. After that, another branch towards the other side of Gautam Buddha. After 2500 years, the first branch of Islamism comes, then after 2250 years, which means a gap of 250 years. After Ibrahim, a gap of 250 years, in that emerges another branch of Gautam Buddha, which recommends people to renounce or things or follow the path of renunciation or follow the path of penance. So that period, in that era, such kind of guidelines are very much required, and from time to time, these religious heads come and give some beautiful message, which is being appreciated by the people of that period. Many start following it, and slowly, slowly, that branch starts growing. And if you see, there is one big thick branch, and then it is further divided into smaller branches, which means the religion, when established, is in its pure form. So there is a lot of power in that religion. And slowly what happens when that religion starts growing, there is further split in that religion, which is, slowly the power in that religion diminishes, which can be said that initially there is the golden period of the religion, then comes the silver period, then copper, and then the iron period, which is the time when there is further split in the branches, and the power felt in the religion is reduced. So this is about the next branch in Copper Age. Then comes another branch of Christianity. Again, within a gap of 250 years, which is 2000 years ago, Jesus Christ comes and creates another religion, which is shown in the form of a branch. Similar is the case with Christ. Initially, there is power felt in the religion. Slowly, slowly, it reaches its silver age. The religion reaches its copper age, and then comes to the iron age, where the number of followers of that particular religion increase, and the branch reaches its iron age, which means there are further split in that religions. Like you see, Catholic Christians or Protestant Christians, they do not get along very well. There is differences of opinions. They have their different churches. The Catholics do not enter the churches of Protestants. The Protestants do not go to the churches of Catholic people. Likewise, there is a split in the main branch, but the main branch was established by Jesus Christ himself. Then comes the fourth branch in Dwapar Yuga, which is Adi Shankaracharya. Again, after a gap of 500 years. Now the gap increased from 250 to 500 years. Again, another soul from the soul world comes, who's known as Adi Shankaracharya, comes and incarnates or enters a human body and recommends people to follow a certain path. And then later on, it has been declared as a religion, which many lakhs and lakhs of followers then start adopting that way of living. Then, in Dwapar Yuga, the four major religions have already emerged. Then comes the tree further grows, then comes Kali Yuga. Within the span of 2500 years of Copper Age, four major religions or the bigger ones, the known and the bigger religions emerge. After that, as the tree grows further, comes another branch in Kali Yuga, which is the branch of Guru Nanak, who establishes Sikh religion. So after 1500 years, which is a gap of another 1000 years, uh, Guru Nanak comes and establishes this religion. By that time, the tree has grown into a big tree, and then the souls who are related to this religion from the soul world start coming and start following the path shown by Guru Nanak, the path shown as the love for God, the love for one. A lot of praises of God is been written in Guru Granth. So here also this branch established in Kali Yuga, which is 500 years back from now, this branch also emerges. Next comes the branch of, can we go behind a little bit? Okay. And then there are many other different small religions and many gurus or saints who emerge in this 500 years of time. So the tree becomes quite big by now because many souls from the soul world has come. The major religions have established. Like any tree, before it falls, it gives us a seed which helps in the continuity of the coming tree. Likewise, this tree also, when it reaches its lifespan of 5,000 years, the human tree, when it reaches the lifespan of 5,000 years, the seed emerges, which is God Shiva, who is the seed of this human tree. He comes and enters a human medium called Prajapita Brahma, and that is the last birth of this soul, the founder, who was earlier known as Dada Lekraj, and later, after God Shiva entered him, he was given the name of Prajapita Brahma. In his last 84 birth, as revealed to him by God Shiva, that he is the one who has taken the maximum births. So in his last 84 birth, he becomes the medium through whom God Shiva, reveals the secrets of knowledge or the secrets of human tree or the human ladder or how the human cycle is going on. Then after this tree reaches its lifespan, the destruction of this tree happens. Like any other tree, it falls after it reaches its, in Hindi it is called Jarjadi Bhutavastha, which means any moment it can fall. Likewise, this human tree also now, which we are seeing, the world around us, if we look at it as a tree, this tree has also reached its Jarjadi Bhutavastha, which means it can perish any moment, and then what counts in the destruction of this tree is the natural calamities and the atomic wars, mm, and then it's okay. You don't do. Then the communal rights, again, this also counts. So all of these factors, these three factors, which is civil wars, atomic bombs, and natural calamities, all these three factors together play a role in the destruction of this old tree, which has now reached its lifespan. Now we hear newses of natural calamity somewhere, or communal rights somewhere, or wars going on in some country, or nuclear wars happening. But just imagine if all these three factors come together at one time, how this scene is going to be. So that's how the destruction of this old world happens. The Kalpavriksha, which is the tree as mentioned in the scriptures, the wish fulfilling tree. So once we understand how this human tree emerges and grows and then perishes, and before it perished, the seed of the human tree emerges, and it helps in the continuity of the tree. That analogy, that idea, or this knowledge of this tree helps us to fulfill all our wishes, all our pure wishes, because now we are at a point where we are now associated, or we are associating ourselves with the seed. So once we get connected with the seed, this seed helps us to come into a new emerging tree, which is the golden age, and which is the most beautiful place, like an inheritance from the spiritual father. Golden age can be considered. So the idea is now to associate, or experience the connection with the seed himself. And when you experience this connection with the Supreme Father, or associate yourself with the seed, all your wishes, all your pure desires can be fulfilled. And symbolically, it has been shown as a Kalpavriksha in the scriptures. But the true meaning is understand the analogy of this tree and associate yourself with the seed himself. Okay. So, any questions up till here? Was I clear? Yes? Yeah. So, moving on.
I have one question, sister.
Yeah, 1 second. 1 second. Yes, tell me, please.
Sister, we have actually, you said that, or you explained that after 5,000 year, every rewinding everything. So but in scientifically are people saying that earth earth made before so many years. So is that after 5 years earth also regenerating, or just a human people, like human life is regenerating? Is that a 4 yugs are regenerating, or everything like we are seeing in our life, like galaxies and everything are changing after 5,000 years, or just only human souls are changing their journeys?
It is only human souls which are changing. I mean, which is moving in a cyclic pattern. There is a change from Kalyug to Satyug again. But truly speaking, these five elements which you're talking about, they remain the same. The only difference happens there is from a very pure stage, these five elements or the planets, only from a very pure stage, they also come to an impure stage along with the downfall of the souls, where we lose our powers, we lose our values, we lose our lots of many other things, and we acquire the vices within us, which is not true to the self. Reflection of that happens in the five elements. But truly speaking, they're always there, and they will continue to be there. It is not that the destruction of the planets happen and then it emerges afresh. Nothing of that sort happens. Or destruction of air, water, all the other natural resources. It's always there. It will always be there. Just like the soul, the energy is always there. It will always continue to be there. The soul becomes from pure to impure. That's the only change which happens. Likewise, the elements also, they are once very pure, they're providers, they're supportive to mankind, and slowly, slowly, they also move to an impure stage according to the souls, and then they come to a point where they also become destructive. The planets clashing and then creating some a lot of meteors falling or the volcanoes erupting or famines happening. That is the signal that the five elements, as a result of impurity in the souls, have become impure. So they also move away from their original nature, which is purity. So now is the time when God comes and purify we souls, and when the soul gets purified, the external factors like the five elements also slowly shift, or they come to their original position, which is again once again pure and powerful stage. Okay,
Okay, yeah, got the answer.
am I clear? All right. Any
Yes, yes.
any other questions from anybody? So if at all there, I'll answer or I'll move forward with what I have. Can you play the next PPT? Yeah. Yeah. So the before I go to the karma philosophy, which is our last lesson for tomorrow, and the powers gained through Rajyoga meditation, I wanted to explain about the significance of Sangam Yuga. The uh, why Ramayana was shown in the copper age, the silver age, and then why uh, the other scriptures, what is the meaning of the scriptures, or what are the scriptures trying to tell us, what is the spiritual side to it. So truly speaking, now Sangam Yuga is the age of Bhagavad Gita, which means God Shiva has incarnated on a human chariot, and he is guiding us in this war between evil and good. Evil are big in number and the good is small in percentage, symbolically shown as the Pandavas and the Kauravas. Right? Pandavas are the ones who have paid attention to God. In the scriptures, the sermonizer of Gita has been explained as Lord Krishna, but truly speaking, the real sermonizer of Bhagavad Gita is Lord Shiva himself, because Krishna is again a deity, and deities are all the children of God, which means they are the ones who have purified the soul in the confluence age, who have empowered themselves, drawn the energy from the Supreme, and made their life worship worthy. So Krishna is again in a human form, like us, shown in a human form. Anybody who's shown in a human form can be considered as deities, but not God himself. God doesn't have the limitation of the body. That is the big difference between deities and God. So this is the time when God, Lord Shiva, becomes our guide, our mentor, who enters a human chariot, not the chariot made up of wood and five horses shown, but a human chariot. It is symbolically shown as a chariot, a chariot made out of a wood, but truly speaking, the spiritual side of it explains that he enters a human chariot and he instructs Arjuna. Arjuna is again one person symbolically shown there, whereas the real meaning of word Arjun, or the name Arjun is Arjan karne wala. In Hindi, it's a Sanskrit word, Gyan ka Arjan karne wala, the one who imbibes the knowledge, or brings the knowledge of God into practice, can be considered as Arjun. So there are many Arjunas at this moment. There are many souls who are paying attention to what God is signaling them, how He wants them to lead their life. But representative of so many people who are paying attention to God is symbolically shown as in the form of Arjun, right? So on one hand, there is Arjun, or the five Pandavas, whom God is himself guiding or being their mentor, and on the other side, the Kauravas, the army of Maya, or the army which is full of vices. Mm. Maya is not any, wealth or any other form shown. The vices within the soul, be it male or be it female, is called as Maya. So all the rest of the souls who are still under the influence of the vices can be considered as the Kauravas. Okay? And the few ones who paid attention to God understood that vices are no good for me. I have to get rid of it. And I can take help of Shiva now to get rid of my vices. They are the ones who can be considered as the Pandavas. Okay? So Kauravas who are still under the influence of vices are many, many in number. So there is a conflict between the Pandavas and Kauravas which is happening now. The good and evil meet at a point called the confluence age, Sangam Yug. That is why we need God to guide us, to mentor us, to help us to be victorious in this battlefield. So, truly speaking, our life is no less than a battlefield these days. One problem you have solved, the other emerges. The minute you attend to that, many other emerges. So, who who is where is my anchor? Who I can count on, or whom I can trust on, whom I can pay attention to, the guidance. So now is the time to experience the connection with God. Make Him your true guru or your mentor, follow his guidelines, and then be victorious over the vices within yourself, which are many, many in number. Through, through the human chariot of Brahma, he is constantly giving us guidance day in and day out now in the confluence age. So now those who get associated with him are guaranteed of victory, just like the Kauravas, Lord Krishna, there it is Krishna shown that he assured them that if you pay attention to my orders, or you listen to what I want you to do, your victory is guaranteed. That assurance was given. That confidence was built in Arjun, even though he was not confident on himself. He didn't trust his powers. But when he started trusting the powers of Krishna as shown there, he was victorious. Even though the Pandavas were few in number, they were victorious over the Akshoni Sena, which means they were huge in number. So now is the time when we as Pandavas need to associate ourselves with God Himself, who has come specially for us in this confluence age, and to be victorious over the biases and weaknesses, and be free from it. In the scriptures, it has been shown that after the victory, the Pandavas went on to a mountain, and then they got melted there, and then they perished. So, what kind of an ending has been shown in the scriptures? Is it a happy ending after a big long battle, after a grand victory? What sort of an ending has been shown? But truly speaking, they were victorious, which means they claimed the inheritance of the golden world, which means they became eligible to enter the golden period. Does that sound better as a victory? Yeah. So, what God reveals to us is, now take this inheritance of the golden period. As Pandavas, he is referring to us as Arjuna, and pay attention to my orders, associate yourself with me alone, even though you are weak souls, you don't trust your powers, but I am there with you. So the one who feel the presence of God, the one who, take directions from God now directly, he's come. For us he has come. The fortunate ones who get to associate themselves now are the ones who become eligible to go into the golden period, which we are awaiting in the near future. So this is about the battle of Mahabharat, which is taking place now in the confluence age. And the story of Ramayana also has relevance from this period. If you see, I will not go into the very detailed part of Ramayana, just on a very superficial level, try to catch the essence of it. I will explain in a superficial level. That there was one Sita, who was the wife of Rama, and when she had because of her desires, she ran after the golden, deer, and then that's where the twist in her story happened during her, when she was living in the jungle with her family, and then that's where Ravan took the opportunity to kidnap Sita and take her into his kingdom of Ravan, and that's when she was into a lot of sorrow and pain and remembering Rama. And then when Rama, with the help of Hanuman and his big army, he he goes and he is victorious over the kingdom of Ravan, and then he brings back Sita, and then the big coronation or the big celebration of Deepavali happens. So that is, in essence, the story part of it. So now let us see how it has relevance with the confluence age, with Sangamyug, and what is the spiritual meaning behind that. So truly speaking, we souls now have become like Sitas. Now you will ask how. So we are now under the influence of the five vices. Mm. Ravan is no human being with 10 heads. Nobody can be like that actually. If you logically think, or if you think that how can one person have, even if somebody has one extra finger, we try to operate and we try to get rid of that extra finger, and we want that person to look normally. So when one finger also is so abnormal and not acceptable in our society, how can we accept the image of a 10-headed man? But truly speaking, there is a meaning behind that. That's just a symbolic image of Ravan. 10, why only 10 heads have been shown? That also has a very beautiful meaning. So 5 heads of the female, or the 5 vices in the female, and the 5 vices in the male. So the combined form of vices within male and female uh, is shown as Ravan. Does it make sense? Yeah. 5 vices in the male and 5 vices in the female, which is symbolically shown as the 5 heads this side and the 5 heads that side, and the combined form is symbolically shown as Ravan. So how do we show the vices? How does my anger have an image? Does my greed has an image? My ego has an image? No. How will I show that in a pictorial form? So it has been shown in the form of Ravan. So truly speaking, we souls are like Sitas who are now under the influence of the 5 vices, or the Ravan within. So, and then when we call out to Rama, not the physical Rama as shown in the story there, when we call out to God the Supreme, come, help me, save me from this bondage in the kingdom of Ravan, then he, with the help of all the monkeys, or with the help of souls who associate with him, free the Sita from the trap. So we became like monkeys, with full of 5 vices. So he takes the help of the souls who are, like monkeys, and transforms them into like the deities. So when Lord Shiva, who is the real Rama for we souls, when he comes into this confluence age, he frees us from the trap of Ravan, and that's when the soul becomes much, much happier, lighter, and he takes us back with him to the land of Nirvana, or the Mukti Dham, where we souls are totally at ease with ourselves, at rest with ourselves, and then as the story goes, the coronation, they are once again seated on the throne, and then the big celebration in the form of Deepavali are shown. You know why Deepavali has been celebrated? Because Rama was victorious over Ravan. On that occasion, there is Deepavali celebrated every year. And before Diwali, Dashera is celebrated, which is the we burn the effigy of Ravan every year, and then we say Ravan is finished, and then in that occasion we celebrate Deepavali, or lighting of the lamps happen on that day. But truly speaking, when we finish the five vices within us, the real Deepavali happens, which means all the souls in the world are lit up with knowledge in their intellects. Intellect is part of the soul, and that's real Deepavali. When there is knowledge in the minds, which is like bright light, which is like the lamp over here is lit up with knowledge, that's the real Deepavali, which means everything is based on our dealings are based on the knowledge. Or in simple terms, I would say knowledge can be said as simple understanding of life. You know, just like ignorance is darkness, no understanding, knowledge is understanding, in simple words. So we now, when we associate ourselves with the real Rama, or the real, you know, sermonizer of Gita, the real knowledge within us starts flowing. Or we are no more in the darker period. We have shifted from dark and we have moved towards the light. I can't say 100% daylight. The golden period will be called as the 100% daylight, but we are moving towards the daylight, which is no more in the dark period, no more here, but in between, walking towards the light. Okay, so confluence age has a very significant, this is the significant period. So whatever happens in this period, later on in the copper age, these stories, these success stories are being revealed in the form of scriptures, and then people get inspired just by listening to these success stories, right? But the spiritual side tells us that now is the time to finish the Ravan within ourselves and experience the true liberation in life. Okay, I get a question that, sister, when I take birth again, will I repeat the same life I lived now? Or, one second, let me read it again for you all. Will I repeat the same life I live now, or will the situation and my life be different? No. As in will be the same thing repeating, or things will change in the next 500 years. Okay. Archana, truly speaking, the after 5,000 years, it all remains the same, not in the immediate next birth. Immediate next birth will be different, but after 5,000 years, identically, these scenes will repeat, which is the people who have joined me in this course, about how many now? I can say 14, 15, fine. The same people would be joining me again and listening to the highest knowledge and trying to understand by putting questions of this sort, So it repeats identically. But the best part is, even though we will repeat whatever happened in our past, maybe it was not so good or very painful, the best part is now is the time that I, the soul, will experience God in my life. So look at the brighter side of it. And slowly what happens is the worst part which we have experienced becomes of no relevance to us. And when you start thinking in this way that the best part is God in my life, you will see how life unfolds, in a very, very beautiful manner. Because when we invite that light, that God in our life, that supreme light, everything becomes brighter. Everything becomes clearer for me. Slowly my purpose, why I exist, and what am I supposed to do as a human becomes very, very clear for me. So that brings me the power to control my future. you know Even though it's identically going to repeat the future also, but still, even though I'm going to repeat that as well, but still I can make a change in my uh, coming days and my future life by experiencing this connection with God now. Mm. Because I don't know my future, no. I can work towards it now and make it happen. whatever is fixed, it will happen for 5,000 years. But now I can't think in that way and become, you know, non-active, or let's see what it's going to repeat. I will just follow it. I can't do like that. If I sit that way, I can't get a glass of water also. I have to come into action in order to sustain myself. Even though that glass of water is a repetitive action 5,000 years I've done, but I have to make it happen. Mm. So that is the law of this cycle. That even though it is identically happen, but I still have to make it happen. You know. So now is the time. You can note the date of today's. What is the date? 16th of October. So you can experiment and see for yourself that, or you can write from today onwards that this is the turning point of my life, because I am going to experience the supreme power, the Almighty in my life, and see how that energy works in my day-to-day life. Okay, and then see what good things. I will make a note of it, that what good things is happening to me. Of course, there will be challenges that will not stop, but again, challenges would be taken in a healthy way. And now, with lot of power and force, like God being my backbone, I will see how these challenges also become so petty to me, become of no relevance to me. I'll tell you my experience that earlier, how I used to perceive the situations or the happenings in my life. Now I'm perceiving it in a very different way. I mean, I try to see what the situation is trying to teach me. That is the shift I can see, in this path. Now I see not the problem. Now I try to work towards the solution, and I shift my eye from what it is going to damage to me, or how it is going to negatively impact me, to how it is, or what is it is going to teach me. And when I made this conscious shift, I have to do it on my own. Nobody can do that for me, you know. So slowly, with the help of my connection improved with God, this shift happens very naturally, also happens without me putting too much efforts. Also, this shift happens. All I have to do is just sit in meditation and connect myself with God, so that I allow him to work on me. You know, some mm, like children are there, for example. If they sit in front of their parents only, they can help them get ready for school, and then, you know, send them off to school and help them create a brighter future by studying well. If the children don't sit in front of the father or their parents, and they keep moving around, I will not wear my uniform, I will not go to school, I will not go as per your directions, how will the future of that children get designed, right? How is that a possibility? Likewise, in meditation, what we do is we are available in front of God, so that He works on me, and then this shift of consciousness, or the shift of betterment, within me is felt, and then I see how it gets translated into my actions, and how easy it becomes. Life can be made easy for myself. I won't say that I still do not have any challenges. I won't say that problems have decreased. I won't deny that at all. But I am in a better position to handle my external challenges, even though they are hundreds in number altogether. Today, I'm more confident to handle these 100 challenges coming from different directions. I can still handle them properly, much better than other individuals, and be stable and keep moving forward, not getting stopped or not getting stuck. Because what happens is, when challenges come, we tend to stop. There is a stagnant energy, because we feel powerless during challenges. So rather than feeling powerless during challenges, we draw extra energy from God, so that with extra force we can push things forward and not remain in a stagnant energy for too long, you know. So that's how beautifully this process of meditation works, and the daily knowledge also, both together helps you to move forward in a very enjoyable way, not just living for the sake of it, but enjoying life truly. So, am I clear? Shall we have a Q&A session for a couple of minutes, and then we can close our session for today with some silence of meditation? Anybody has any questions in the session so far? Or shall we move towards the meditation part? Okay. So just sit comfortably and relax your body. In these silent moments, I take this opportunity to focus my thoughts, to realize the true self, I, the soul, the being of light, this pure energy seated in the center of my forehead. I visualize that I am this radiant point of light, the master of this vehicle. I am peaceful, pure, blissful, happy, knowledgeable soul. This is my core values. As I realize that I am not the body, I am the soul within the body, I move towards my core values. My core values come to surface or ready to use as I slowly move towards my original self. This is the true I, the soul. I am not the role I am playing. I am the actor within the costume called body, playing the role. I sense a detachment from this costume of mine. This is merely an instrument which I, the soul, use to play my role. But I am not this instrument. This is my body, and I am a peaceful being of light, pure energy, powerful by nature. Slowly, I step out of this costume of mine and move upwards into the sky. I visualize the soul like a star in the night sky. And as I further go beyond the corporeal world, the subtle region, far beyond the world of sounds, the world of action and reaction, I reach out to a silent space which is surrounded by golden red light. I visualize the Supreme Soul right in front of me in this home of mine with open arms welcoming me. Shiv Baba, my eternal Father, my eternal parent, in his company, I feel comforted. I feel relaxed. He's there to take away all my sorrows and bestow happiness in my life. I absorb his powerful rays of peace, love, happiness, bliss, purity, knowledge, and all the divine qualities. Like the ocean, he's showering upon me, and I take from the ocean. I feel myself complete with his pure, unconditional love. And I give away all my burdens to him like a child who cannot carry his burdens, is always looking for parents to offload it. Similarly, I, the soul, the child of the Supreme Parents, whatever burdens I'm carrying within me, the soul, I give it away. I surrender. They are no more mine. I am relieved as I know He's more capable of handling it. I allow this energy to work on me, to cleanse the soul, to purify the soul, relieve the burdens on the soul. I visualize like laser beams touching the soul, empowering the soul, changing the soul into a powerful being of light. In His company, I'm transformed. I am no more a weak soul, as my connection is with the ultimate one, the powerhouse, where there is never power crisis, who's constantly available for me, who's there to hear me out. I experience a heart-to-heart conversation with my spiritual parents, Shiv Baba, who's there to understand me the way I am and not judging me. I experience the lightness within the soul, and as I absorb the powers from the Supreme, recharge the battery of the soul, I slowly and gently start moving downwards, crossing the subtle region, enter the human body, and once again I visualize that I, the soul, am seated on my throne between the center of my forehead like a king, the Raja, the master of these senses. I visualize my five sense organs I send powerful raises to my sensory organs, my eyes, my ears, my nose, my mouth, my hands and legs, so that they get the power to do righteous actions, to cooperate with me, so that my eyes do not see any evil, my ears do not listen to any evil, my mouth doesn't speak any evil, and my hands and legs do not perform any evil actions. I send them these powerful raises. And now I visualize that from the forehead, the soul is radiating all the powers in the entire body of mine. Every cell of my body is recharged, and slowly these powerful raises are radiating in the environment around me, reaching out to the entire city, sending power to all the souls, my fellow brothers and sisters, crossing the city boundaries. I send raises of peace, love, happiness into the entire country and then to the entire globe, the entire world. Slowly, I come back to the awareness of my external world to play my role to the best of my ability, bringing back with me the experience of lightness, power, and peace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.